to Gregorian Chat,
Hiya.
podcast giving you the realist of Catholic banter. I think we got it.
We did it!
Yay!
The realist of Catholic banter.
I'm trying to remember our tagline.
Yeah, we have mugs with it written on, but not today.
I have a drink
Today
from
we
that.
got fancy mugs.
These are like Karen Walker mugs.
Karen? Who's Karen? Little Karen helping out.
But welcome to the podcast. Today we are doing a special episode where we're going to be reviewing Stranger Things Season 3.
If you haven't seen it, obviously don't watch this because
Right.
we're probably going to spoil it. But if you have seen it, watch the hell out of it because it's
Yeah.
awesome.
I've always wanted to say that. Spoiler alert.
Watch the heaven out of it. I don't know.
Is there any heaven in Stranger Things Season 3? Good question.
I think so.
How good do you think it is, just before we really get into the meat of it? Like, are there any parallels to Christian life that we can take from Stranger Things, or is it just
goodness.
straight up enjoyment?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's straight up enjoyment for sure.
Well, there's the sacrifice.
Yep.
With Billy.
Right. And the way the alien replicates itself, it's kind of like the Eucharist.
Ah! Or
Sorry.
maybe the
Self-giving.
opposite.
There's more taking though, eh?
Yeah, definitely not the Eucharist.
I mean, it transforms the people that it.
Mate, no.
I'm just going to stop on that one.
Yeah.
Parallels, but Season 3. So essentially,
I think Stranger Things is Netflix done right. I think this is the perfect, show, the perfect Netflix production.
mm-hmm.
Like, the actors that are in it aren't well known. Well, they weren't when it started.
No,
They were just people, and the writers were people that were passionate, had a vision, and were all about the details. And it was just I think it's just the most amazing.
I don't think that they realised it was going to be so big, did they?
No,
When they first
exactly.
made Season 1.
And I think, one thing that I love about Netflix is it's made it so much easier for people to be creative. Because you can you don't need a massive budget because it's just about churning out things. It means you can have really good things, and I think Stranger Things is the perfect example.
It is good. So if you haven't seen Stranger Things and you're one of those people that doesn't mind getting spoilers, so you're thinking, I might not actually watch Stranger Things, but I just am so addicted to getting every part of Gregorian Chat podcast that you can. Maybe the basic overview, okay, Stranger Things Season 1, there's a small town called Hawkins, it's in Indiana in the United States. It's very small, but basically, it's invaded by aliens. There's like an alien breach in this kind of time-space wormhole thing, and that breach was
the Upside Down, right?
Called the Upside Down. So it's like a parallel dimension, essentially, and that was opened up by these people with telekinetic powers. Well, in particular, Elle, who's one of the main characters, 11. When they first got her to use her powers, she accidentally opened up a portal to this alien world. So it's kind of it's definitely sci-fi. But thriller,
comedy,
bordering on horror at some points. There's definitely enough suspense, lots of comedy.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about we can talk about plot structure and how the episodes work well and all that kind of thing. So Season 1, essentially one of the boys, Will Byers, goes missing. He's kind of taken into the Upside Down or the parallel dimension by this alien called the Demigorgon.
And then that's where they see the Mind Flayer, which is in the
Right.
Upside Down.
So it's a little bit like the film, what's that? Live, Die, Repeat. What's that called? Edge of Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow, where there's one main alien that's the big brain, it's the alpha, and then there are other parts to the alien which
Well, I think,
then do the bidding.
Yeah, the difference is, I think there are these things in movies which are canon of, if there's an alien monster, the way to defeat the alien monster is to defeat the hub, and then all the other aliens die. That happens.
Yeah. It's a lot now. Eh?
Well, that's what's been written maybe in the original sci-fi. That's how things happen.
Wasn't someone do a sci-fi where you have to kill every single damn alien, and there's no easy fixed solution? It's just, It's just they've infiltrated the Earth.
But one thing I love about Stranger Things is basically the geeks are the ones that are the experts because they're geeks.
Right.
Because it's this is they knew that they had to they had to go straight to the source, because that's what you do when aliens attack. That's when there's a monster attacking you. That's what you do. It's written in every comic book. It's in every movie. It's like, so of course this is what you do. And because they were kids, they knew that they knew that in a way that adults wouldn't know that.
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
Adults might be, well, that might work, but how do we know? And it's like,
well, they get all their information. Most of their like theories are from playing Dungeons and Dragons, which I've never played. But I did meet somebody the other day, and we're trying to organise something. Like, oh, sorry, we can't do that because I have my Dungeons and Dragons group, and I was like, "Are you what?" And this is like,
did you say, "Can I come and watch"?
No.
Next time you see them, can you ask if we can go watch?
I mean, it would be so.
And then we'll do an episode reviewing.
And this is like a married.
We can do a live reaction. And
yeah, we could
filming us.
Dungeons and Dragons live. This is a mother of 2 kids, and it's just like not at all the kind of person I would have expected to.
You've got to have a
do
hobby.
this, but I mean exactly.
You've got to have a hobby.
But anyway, so season 1 was kind of that, and then season 2 got a little bit wider, but it's still basically contained within the town of Hawkins. There was a bit more politics, stuff like that. The alien had come back in a different way, and it had possessed Will Byers, the boy. So season 3, when season 3 they ended up, and at the end of season 2, 11, who's the girl with telekinetic powers, she basically closed the portal or the gate that the alien was using to come into our world. But what season 3 begins with is the fact that when she closed the gate, there was still some part of the alien that was exploring our world, or it was let loose.
Well, no, because the alien that got released from Will Byers.
Yeah.
That alien, the gate closed, and then he got released, and then that alien's still circulating in existence. I think is
still in existence somewhere.
And also the Russians. Flipping Russians are like, hey, why don't we open this gate that they just closed? Come with a massive ginormous.
And they had another one. So they had one portal gate that they were opening in Russia, right?
Yeah.
And then they
they opened a portal gate in Hawkins.
But did they not open one in Russia also?
I don't know. That was the post credits thing. Well, that was the end of the show. That was the end of episode 8, right?
Oh, so one of the first scenes of the Russians in season 3, there's like a scene where the old scientists, they're trying to open up this gate to the other world, right?
Yeah.
And then it doesn't work, and so the general guy kills one of the scientists, and then he says to Alexei, who's like the Russian scientist, "You've got 1 year. You have 1 more year." So then I think maybe what they do is they realise. No, because then the scene goes outside, and it's to snow, and it's in Russia.
I thought it was.
So I think maybe they tried to do the opening of the gate in Russia. But then he said, "I've only got a year. We need to try it at Hawkins because that was where the original breach was."
I missed that part.
I think it was. Anyway, there are Russians involved, so it becomes a lot more technical, and they build this huge base underneath a new Starcourt Mall. It's pretty cool.
So that's the recap.
Yeah, sorry.
And now it's the review.
Hey.
Yeah. So
out of 10.
Out of 10,
and then we'll explain why.
1 million.
Unhelpful.
I guess 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, I genuinely think this is the best thing on Netflix. This is the best thing. When people invented Netflix and they were like, let's create a platform where people can just create for low. It doesn't cost so much, but we can create more. It meant that good things like this can happen. It also means lots of rubbish TV shows can happen, but you got to have a lot of rubbish before you get something good. Just watch our first episode of Gregorian Chapter. Anyway.
Or any of the ones since.
Pardon? Have you deleted it?
Or any of the ones since.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, we're so professional now.
I think, and I just loved everything about it from start to finish. There was parts like you know how you watch an episode of Netflix and you have your phone in your hand and you are scrolling through Facebook. There was parts where I had my phone in my hand, but I couldn't look at my phone screen because it was just so gripping.
Yeah, I agree.
I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And it was just everything that I wanted it to be without me realizing what I wanted it to be, and like just all the 90s stuff, 80s, like all the fashion, the mall, the music, Back to the Future,
the hairstyles,
and also the character development.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just watching, I think it's also, I guess, kind of like a nostalgia thing maybe, where it's like, we saw these kids as kids, and now they're like preteens.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh, that dynamic's hilarious, and yeah, the thing with Steve and Robin, I thought that was brilliant, and then the relationship dynamic between Elle and, is it Max? Mike.
Yeah,
Max is the girl.
Max is the girl.
Yeah. Billy, you know.
Oh, man, I was like, he's gonna make such a good bad guy.
Yeah.
If that's what happens, and it did.
Yeah, that's what happened.
You know, I was concerned at the start of the season. There's this basically a scene where Billy is this young, attractive lifeguard guy.
Yeah.
You know, and all of the local mums have fallen in love with him. And
Yeah.
like, I was really concerned that they were going to take it in a bit of a dodgy direction, and that one of the mums of the boys is going to end up, you know, having an affair with Billy, who's like 18 or 17.
There was that thing between Nancy's mum and Billy right at the beginning, like where she's reading that, like,
yeah,
I don't know, erotic novel, and then Billy's at the door with his shirt and like the guy in front. So
yeah, that was in season 2.
But yeah, that's another thing that I do enjoy about. There isn't any. It's wholesome.
Yeah,
like,
there's no like.
If a kid's watching that, they're not going to understand what's going on.
Mm.
And so like.
Well, maybe.
I mean, I wouldn't get kids to watch this anyway because it'd be terrifying for them.
It would be pretty terrifying.
But like, it's not. There's no sex scenes, and they didn't over sexualize the relationships between the kids.
Right.
And yeah, I thought it was really authentic.
I must say, when I was watching it, I was worried it was going to go in that direction. I was worried season 3 was going to be, they've grown up now and they're teenagers and they're in relationships, so there's going to be like scenes of them, you know, getting it on. I was like, I really don't want to have to watch that, you know. I don't want to have to watch anyone, you know. Yeah. And so I agree. I think that's something that they did really well. Is that they're like, we don't need to have that in there. Even though they are people, you know, it's more a celebration, like you say, of the geekiness. Celebration for geeks, and part of being a geek is that you just don't divulge your personal love life.
So yeah, so what was your favorite? Oh no, also my favorite bits: Dusty Bun, and Susie,
the never
Susie
ending story.
Well, not even just that bit. Like, I love that whole dynamic.
You heard about her in the first episode, but first episode is called Susie 2 Copy.
Yeah.
And it's only in the last episode of the season that she actually realised she does exist.
The Never Ending Story bit was both amazing, and I loved every second of it, and also incredibly annoying. It was like I felt like that was just a part of like the actor that plays Dustin. He's actually a pretty good singer in real life, and so I thought they're like, hey, let's have a song moment.
Right. Well, I thought they would have got Mike to do that. Mike's in a band.
Is he?
He's in a legit band. They're on like KEXP, which is like an indie radio station in the States.
Really? Mike's in a band?
Mike is in a band. I can't remember what they're called. It's one word, and it's like a word that just sounds like a mythical made-up thing. But yeah, they're like totally an indie band.
But anyway, so like I thought that was beautiful, but I felt like it was really just thrown in there. It kind of disrupted the storyline a little bit.
The Never Ending Story bit?
Yeah.
So you actually didn't like it that much?
No, I'm torn because it was both amazing.
Yeah.
And I can't think of any other time when it would be good to put it in. But also, I was so in the moment where they needed this thing. Why the freak are we having a song break right now? Right.
And so, I feel like, this leads me to one of my big things that I have against season 3. And I'm torn as well, because I thought that was a great moment of like comic relief. And I thought it was just a great juxtaposition of this like really cutesy, nostalgic song, and in the background you've got this monster. You know, 3 different scenes happening in 3 different places, or 4 different places, and they all kind of just like splice it together. Yeah. But the one thing as I was watching season 3, I noticed the way a Stranger Things episode will usually work is often, you know, the last episode ends with something very intense, and that's, you know, your final hook for the next episode, essentially. Something crazy goes down, someone's killed or turned into a monster, or the monster does something, or you know, there's a big reveal, and then the start of the next episode will be something that might play on that a little bit, and it's like, oh, there's going to be some tension, and then it drops off, and then you get like a part which is like, it's back to the normality, domestic life. People are going about their daily lives, and all the while the storyline is bubbling underneath, and then the tension rises as the episode goes.
Yeah.
And then it gets more and more and more and more, greater until the end, and then there's that point again.
Yeah.
Where the episode finishes on a massive high. But I feel like the plot, the way they did plot in this season was sometimes a bit too up and down.
Okay.
I think their formula worked, and because I've noticed it though. So I don't know if maybe I'm just analysing it too much.
Well, because you binge watched season 1 to 3.
Just season 2.
Oh, just season 2 and 3?
Again, yeah.
Well, either way, I only watched season 3, so you've probably got more of an insight into that side of it than I do.
I think if I just come in fresh, I would have forgotten a lot of stuff. But it was good to. The thing I felt season 2 had it got much more intense. You went from having just this alien that was basically one alien, the Demogorgon, and there was the Upside Down. So there was a lot of time spent in the Upside Down. Eventually, and they were trying to figure out this crazy world and all that kind of stuff. Season 2 was more like there were more aliens that had come into in the form of Dart, who is Dustin's little pet dog. There's like a frog that grows into an alien and starts killing people. And then turns out there's a whole pack of them, and there were all those vines that are growing underneath Hawkins. And so that to me was like, oh, this is a good step. It's more intense. There's more of their world. But I feel like season 3, I liked that they had the Russian threat. So there was the Russian bad guys, but then there was also the bad guys who are the aliens.
Yeah.
And that was split up as well because the alien was transforming the people of the town themselves into a part of itself. So you had lots of different mini bad guys in a way. Like Billy was one of another bad guy, almost in his own form.
Yeah.
But I felt like in season 3, one of the things one of the critiques I had was there was no mention of the other experimented kids from season 2. Only had one episode that talked about 8, who was another one of the girls who has powers. Yeah. But only had one episode, and then that was it basically.
Right. Yeah.
But then this season had absolutely nothing. No mention of any of the other telekinetics.
Yeah.
And I felt like that could have.
I felt like the beginning
helped.
of this season was kind of painting the picture of everything's been normal for a while, and everyone's chill, and the relationships are developed, and they're living
a year later or something.
Lived in peaceful Hawkins, and there'd been no drama. I think that was the picture they were painting at the beginning. But what I was going to say is I thought it was quite interesting talking about all the evil characters. So you've got Billy, who's kind of, even before he's possessed by the mind flare, he's kind of like an evil character. We've got Billy, who is kind of evil in his own right, but then he gets possessed. But then the Russians, and it's just how evil itself it's a good time. You want to look at Christian links. So the devil, the Russians in themselves, and maybe Billy in himself, aren't necessarily evil.
Okay.
Russians are curious, and and so the Demogorgon or the evil uses that to encourage, and it encourages them to open up this gate. And Billy is he's evil in the sense that he's willing to be a homewrecker, and he doesn't care about anybody else. And whilst he's on his way to be a homewrecker, he's half seduced. What's the name's mum?
Mrs. Whatever.
Nancy's mum. Anyway, and then the Demogorgon, using that he's following that kind of lust.
Yeah.
So the Russians are going for maybe greed. Billy's using lust, and then that's when he gets possessed, and then he gets used. And then in the end, especially with Billy, you see his goodness comes out.
Ooh.
And he fights against it, which leads to his demise. But he shows real, manliness, sacrifice, honor, strength, and
it's good parallel.
comes through. And so I thought so we're talking about these evil characters, these 3 evil things that are going on, but actually there's only one evil thing that's going on, and the other 2 evil things are dependent on the mind flare. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting kind of Christian parallel you can make there. But like, and also like, whenever you watch a horror movie, the bad thing always happens when someone's trying to have an affair, or there's always something like,
yeah, that's true.
Oh, these two are about to go into the woods and have sex, and then they get killed, and it's kind of like there's that, which is like a
and I was quite glad that they managed to do that, and Nancy's mum kind of sees it. And just
I'm glad that she didn't.
But
it just showed such character.
So I just want to finish what I was saying before about I realised I never finished the plot thing. I feel like the tension was cut a bit too much at some point.
Okay.
So I feel like that the Battle of Starcourt, or whatever it was,
right,
with that giant alien.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that they weren't gonna all die, and that the alien wasn't gonna take over. But I feel like they lost, because the alien had seemed to have lost its connection to its big world. It never really seemed to me like there was the full possibility of it taking over the world.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it just seemed to me like, they're just kind of dealing with, it's a crazy monster. But, they're able to cut it with axes and whatever, and they could probably find a way of killing it. And, sure, the gate is like being pried open by this new machine, but I just felt like for some reason it was a little bit more disconnected. There was they did try and play on it a little bit with the fact that Al got bitten in that episode, the bite, and I wondered if she was going to get fully taken over, and actually become one of the alien subjects like Billy, but manage to fight it or have to kill herself or something like that. And I guess I did think the thing with Hopper at the end was great. The suspense. You don't know whether he's dead or alive.
I feel like they could have dealt with that a bit more. That last episode could have been a couple of episodes. Because I feel like it came to an end. I can't remember which point, and then it carried on, and then it's like, well now, I was kind of satisfied with what happened, and then it just carried on telling the story, and it's like, oh, I hadn't thought about all this stuff, and now I need to, and so I didn't. It's like there's too much information. I mean, it was 20 minutes longer. It
was like an hour 17.
Yeah, it was 20 minutes longer. And I think they should have just made another episode out of it, to be honest.
But on the whole, I think it's good. Like you say, it's great TV.
Oh, brilliant.
I mean, I binge watched it in 2 days, not because I had to, but just because it was so great, and I was like, oh, I have to leave my last 2 episodes.
You did want to talk about the whole Steve-Robin dynamic.
Oh yeah, just briefly. I think I was a bit disappointed about the fact that Robin turned out to be a lesbian, in the sense that it's like not as like an anti-lesbian thing, just as the way in which their relationship developed. I feel like because in the previous season it was like, oh, Steve doesn't end up with Nancy, and it seemed like they were kind of meant to be or whatever. And I think Nancy and Jonathan worked really well, but then it was like, okay, Steve's out there, and I think this is why I feel that way, is because when he's working in the ice cream store, Steve is very much a father figure to all these kids who are coming in, and Robin keeps calling him out and saying, how many kids do you have, and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, he's really taken on that role of father. He's in season 2, he's fought off the aliens, in the bus scene, and then later on, and he's had to fight Billy, and he lost, he got beaten up, but he still managed to win. And then in this season, he's doing the same thing again. He's taking these crazy risks. He's fighting Russians. So I feel like all of that was like a part of him proving himself as a man. And it's not in the sense that he's now a man, so he deserves the woman. But like it was more that I feel like there was that thing happening for him personally, and then also his relationship with Robin was this thing that had like blossomed, and she talks about like, oh well, I was never good enough for you, and that's what you thought it was, where it was going, and so I was hoping that they would get together as a bit more of a resolve.
I think that's just because you're a matchmaker at heart.
I think so.
Because I thought it was really good that they didn't get together. I mean, maybe her being lesbian made it a really was a good tool to present that, because I like to think there's this whole thing of like, two attractive people of the opposite sex seem to be talking a lot, they must go out.
Right.
And I think it's like I feel like Stranger Things has a really good, really healthy kind of attitude towards like the relationships between the kids. And it's like, I feel like that would just kind of like... I mean, having said that, if Robin and Steve got together, I wouldn't be critiquing it saying, oh, that's terrible.
Right.
But I think it was a bit of a twist in the plot that I didn't see coming, and I don't think it was bad. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could get really political
I liked
on
it.
I'm sure someone else would do a review and say there was... it was clearly a feminist thing, and they were trying to shut down the toxic masculinity of
I just love Steve's character.
Of Steve, but no, I think it was a couple of things. On the whole, I would probably give it 9 out of 10. I give it 9 out of 10.
I'm 10%. 10%.
110%.
110%.
There you go. But anyway, if you haven't seen it, I hope we haven't ruined too much for you. Maybe.
And if you have seen it, I hope you agree with everything we say.
Yeah.
And if you don't agree with what we say, comment below.
Totally
share
agree.
to the people that don't agree with you and don't agree with us. Discuss it. Share our stuff heaps. And by the way, thanks everybody who's been getting involved with our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so keep it up.
We'll just keep sharing some memes.
Yeah, keep sharing memes. And now we're actually going to share some content. So enjoy. Hey guys, thanks for watching the podcast. I've got good news. It just got a whole lot easier to search for us online.
All you got to do is search Gregorian Chat into YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, and Player FM for those who are on Android.
Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. See you later. God bless.